Welcome back. Senator Fortuna Belrose says she's not quite ready to talk jazz just yet. Fielding questions from the media outside of Parliament, the senator did, however, divulge that jazz will once again receive a facelift, this time where size is concerned. Solange Alfred tells us more.
Bigger and better. According to Senator Fortuna Belrose, this is not the route that will be taken with the upcoming jazz festival. The senator spoke outside the House of Assembly, expressing that a more tight-knit jazz festival is in the works for 2019.
We're looking at smaller, more intimate venues. As you know, we want to ensure that we have more authenticity within the jazz festival, and that's why we've gone for we're working with the Jackson, the Lincoln Center in the US, and so that's one of the focuses for us, and also trying to ensure that we develop our young talents with respect to jazz. So we're working with the School of Music, the Marshall Youth Orchestra, some of these smaller developing groups to ensure that we offer a greater level of authentic jazz, in time to come.
Back in 2016, Prime Minister Alan Shastney highlighted that the sum of $14 million spent on the Jazz and Arts Festival bordered on ludicrous. The administration went on to revamp and rebrand the event to what the public now knows as Soleil Summer Festival. Belrose says that a vast investment downgrade from 14 to 4 million should yield a profit for jazz. However, the aim of the event, she says, was never solely about the profits.
The profits come over time. If you recall, we were spending $14 million on jazz up to 2.5 years ago. Yeah, we were spending $14 million. We're only spending $4 million, and the focus is now on ensuring that we develop the authentic jazz, you understand, within our country, and also getting solutions to appreciate the authenticity within the jazz.
According to Belrose, she does not share the concerns that nearby island Dominica may be gearing up to host a similar jazz festival within the same timeline as St. Lucia's very own.
We have no concerns. I think what we've been trying to develop over the last few years is something that is truly St. Lucian. And I don't think we'll be too concerned about competing with other jurisdictions at this point in time. I think our focus is on...
We moved Carnival for that very reason.
Absolutely. And our focus is on trying to ensure that we believe in us and we develop us. And I think we've got the talent in St. Lucia, and that's what we'll be working on ensuring comes out, during this.
The senator says that additional information regarding this year's festival will be forthcoming come Monday, 15th April 2019. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The Hospitality Studies Department of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College played host to a French contingent of students as part of a culinary exchange program. Both the St. Lucian and French counterparts say the experience was not only educational but thoroughly enjoyable. The hope is that this is the start to a fruitful collaboration.
St. Lucian ambience and French cooking, it was a match made in culinary heaven. The head of the department of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College's Hospitality Studies Department, Tanya Warner, says a week-long exchange program that saw French culinary students and lecturers coming to the SALCC Hospitality Department was an edifying experience for all.
They spent a week here with our students where their lecturers taught our students, and their students engaged in classes with our lecturers. We paired one French student with one of our students and they attended classes together. So it was really an ideal exchange opportunity for both lecturers and students alike. We were exposed to the French cuisine because some of their lecturers were pastry chefs, and the wines of France, we were exposed to that. So all of us learned quite a bit from this experience. And it is a partnership that I don't think ends here or ends today. It's a partnership that I think can continue on. As a matter of fact, we intend to bring some of our students over to Martinique pretty soon so that they can visit their school and see their facilities and learn from them as well.
Lecturer and group leader for the French contingent, Jose Cecina, raved about the exchange program as well. He says it was an opportunity to sit at the table of brotherhood and solidarity with esteemed St. Lucian counterparts.
We know that St. Lucia, and especially SALCC, is a beacon of excellence, as I like to put it. So that's why I'm here to learn from those people, from the institution. And as you know, our students have to train abroad. And for for quite a long time, abroad meant going to Europe and France. And I told my students, along with my fellow lecturers, that abroad can be right next door, St. Lucia. And we share a common history, and I believe that we should share a common destiny.
The French students who got a taste of St. Lucian life and learning were also full of praise for the experience, not just the educational aspect, but the sheer awe of witnessing St. Lucia's immense natural beauty.
C'est un bon bagay pour nous, venir ici. Nous avons de belles bagailles. Et nous avons des gros auteurs. Nous pas ni ça à nous. Pourtant, nous plus grands. Mais c'est des bons mondes qui travaillent bien. Et nous sommes vraiment contents de venir dans le pays. Et un bel pays.
The SALCC and the Bellefonte Culinary School in Martinique hope to make the student exchange program a regular fixture of their culinary programs.
Teachers across the region have been clamoring for CXC to pay up to get them to grade school-based assessments, SBAs. Former CXC Registrar Dr. Dirkus Jules says this issue has been on the front burner for far too long and must be addressed. Solange Alfred reports.
The dreaded school-based assessments, SBAs, loathed by students, is now causing qualms with teachers. Backlash is being received by teachers who have to mark students' SBAs. A call has been made by Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaican teachers who have threatened to withdraw their services if not paid for marking the projects. Former CXC Registrar Dirkus Jules says the threats are unwarranted due to the fact that SBAs form part of teachers' classroom workload.
The SBAs are meant to be the application of knowledge in whatever subject you're studying. So if you're doing, say, English, for example, one of the problems employers say is that there's insufficient mastery of the English language to write business letters and do stuff like that. So the thinking there is the SBA is an opportunity for the class teacher to have an input into the final grade of the students. It's a project. Most developed countries now are moving to project-based work in education. So you really cannot talk about paying teachers for marking SBAs because SBAs are supposed to be part of their classroom pedagogy. That's the essence of the problem.
Jules, who left the post of registrar in 2014 to go on to become Director General of the OECS Commission, explains the very thought of paying teachers for SBAs in itself would pose a complex problem.
There are a lot of complications as to how you're going to, if you were to even consider paying, how do you effect that? Because throughout the year, if I'm working on an SBA in, say, science, maybe at least once a month, my teacher should be checking my progress, giving feedback, and so on. So do you pay a fixed fee or do you pay at every iteration? How is that to be managed?
Recently, the Grenadian government commended teachers who disobeyed calls to not mark students' SBA projects. Those directives stemmed from the Grenada Union of Teachers, which advised the members to not mark SBA projects. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The National Competitiveness and Productivity Council last week made a presentation to fifth formers of the Cicero Secondary School on productivity and the effect of procrastination on their personal and collective productivity. More in this report from Glenn Simon.
The week of April 1st to 5th was literally the final week of school for the fifth form students of the Cicero Secondary School as they set off to write CXC examinations commencing later that month. Shalon Theebles, homeroom teacher for one of the fifth form classes, invited the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, NCPC, to make a presentation to the students to help motivate them as they prepare to further their studies or enter the world of work.
At the Cicero Secondary School, we strive to cater for the holistic child. So we don't just want them to have what it is in school. We want them to be molded for what is out there, what they would be presented with on the outside. So being productive is a very major part of living in society.
The topic, Procrastination Kills Productivity, was presented to the energetic yet attentive fifth formers by yours truly, Glenn Simon, Communications Specialist with the NCPC. The NCPC provides timely and effective recommendations to policymakers, the private sector and other stakeholders on issues relating to competitiveness and productivity in St. Lucia.
As they prepare for CXE, as they prepare to enter the field of work, as they prepare to write to other schools for placement, we wanted them to understand that they should not delay. Procrastination really is the intentional and habitual delay of starting or completing a task, knowing full well that it will have negative consequences. And productivity, we brought the message of productivity to them, that it is really what you get out from what you put in.
Many of the students pledged to work towards reducing their level of procrastination and welcomed the video presentations and discussions on the topic. Fifth former Romanus Henry said he found the topic very interesting and now realizes how procrastination can impact his future.
I can procrastinate a lot, so I find the topic help educate me and help to put me straight for me to not to procrastinate anymore. So therefore I'll have to build a focus and a mentality for me to be proactive in my schoolwork and also in other activities.
Desiree Joseph said, as she prepares for exams, her takeaway was to create a timetable for herself to decide how and when to do certain tasks in order to reduce procrastination.
At this stage, you're supposed to be studying, and if you keep leaving your studies, I will do it sometime, I'll do it later, that keeps you back from gaining some knowledge for your exams.
Simon expressed his delight on behalf of the NCPC to present to the students, who he remarked are important stakeholders within the country. The fifth form students were presented with various tokens of appreciation and participated in a tongue twister competition amongst themselves. For the National Competitiveness and Productivity Unit, Glenn Simon reporting.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Sports news with Tennyson Glasgow is up next.